is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and this is part 6, or the final part of my web series that talks about submitting data to the Department of Management's Property Valuation System. And this part is really going to be about finalizing your data, filing it with Department of Management, unfiling it if you have corrections to make, and just sort of wrapping everything up. So before you file your data with Department of Management and make it public, be sure to run your errors checks and also check your rollback sheet and make sure there's no large numbers that are on that sheet that cannot be explained. After making any changes, so if you go in and you make some corrections, please rerun the errors check and rollback reports again, just to make sure, again, that your data is in good shape and you don't have any issues. If you have an errors check situation where there are errors versus simply warnings, the system won't let you file your data. But keep in mind, anytime you unfile, you must file again or your data is not public and it won't be populating the online system budget forms with those changes. A few reminders that you cannot flip-flop taxing district numbers from one year to another. So if a tax district in one year is 00123, you can't change that tax district type in the following year. You can't change taxing districts from a TIF base to a TIF increment or vice versa. So if that 00123 was a base in year 2019, in 2020, you can't make it an increment district in your system. And you also can't change non-TIF taxing districts to TIF taxing districts or vice versa. Same thing, that tax district 00123, if it was a TIF base district, you tried to, in the following year, make it a regular tax district, same number of a tax district, but a different type, the system's not going to let you do that. What it's going to do is when you try to upload, it's going to check those tax district types against the prior year, and if there's a change, it's going to flag an error for you when you try to upload. You can't change a taxing district type from a rural to an urban or urban to rural. Same sort of scenario plays out there. You can't change taxing districts from city exempt to non-city exempt or vice versa. So essentially, you can't change one tax district from year to year, change, the basic components of that tax district. If you need a new tax district, so say you have a existing tax district that's going away, you really need to delete out that tax district and create a new one. You can't reuse that tax district and just change its type. That's not going to be something the system's going to let you do. You can't submit negative valuations, negative military exemptions, or negative homestead amounts. So keep that in mind as well. Additional final checks, be sure to check with your assessor and reconcile valuations with the assessor's abstract that they send to Department of Revenue. Understand what the differences are between the assessor's numbers and yours. There very well may be differences due to corrections or other sorts of modifications during that time frame, but be sure that you understand what those differences are. And also just check in with the assessor again to see if there were any adjustment issues that would affect the valuations since they sent that data to you. Did something occur that you need to then make a correction in your file in the valuation system? Be sure to check your TIFs. Manually check the TIF district valuations to make sure that the software generated amounts equal the amounts calculated using the TIF formula that we talked about in an earlier session regarding TIF specifically. If the TIF authority requests less than the amount authorized, make sure that you reallocate unneeded increment value back to the base valuation. So if they're not using the full amount of their available maximum increment that they could use, you would divert that value back to the base value at the time that you submit valuations. It's not proper to do that down the road when taxes are being done. You do that now when you submit valuations. The valuations submitted should be only the value that's needed to service the TIF debt for the upcoming budget year. Ensure that any rollback comes off the base district first. That's just a basic tenet of the TIF formula, that your rollback amount, any rollback in the TIF district, is going to come off the base district before it would ever come off the increment. And make sure that your 100% and taxable value are both appropriately distributed between your base and increment tax districts by class. For utility values, if any taxing districts were created or deleted and they had utility value in them, make sure that the movement of utility value from one tax district to another is reconciled with Department of Revenue and the utility company. So if you were deleting some tax districts or combining some tax districts, often due to, say, school reorganization, and you needed to move utility value, that's oftentimes fine, but that needs to be communicated to Department of Revenue and to the utility company so they know which tax district the utility value is now supposed to be reported in. On the Department of Revenue's website, there is a form that you would use to accomplish this, and here's the website, and it is called Form 2. When you're ready to file data with DOM and make it public, you actually have to take a step to make that data finalized. So when you are ready, you think it's all completed, your errors checks and everything are clean, what you would do is go to the left-hand navigation and select File with DOM. And that will bring up an icon that will allow you to file your data with DOM to finalize your changes. And anytime you would need to go in after that and make any changes, you have to file data with DOM again to finalize them. This is basically what the screen looks like. So on the left-hand navigation, File Unfiled Data, it's going to give you your current status. So if you were filing for the first time, your current status is work in progress, you haven't filed yet. Your data is not public. And then to make that data public, you do File Data. It's going to say, are you sure you want to file your data with DOM and make your data available to the public? Yes. So if you are error-free, it will tell you that your data has been filed successfully. If you have errors, it's going to tell you that the errors must be fixed prior to filing data. So just be aware that if you do show errors on your errors check, it won't let you actually file. If you are ready to go back in the system for any reason and make some corrections, you go back in to that File Unfiled Data. It'll show your current status as filed with DOM and your data status as public, but you would select the Unfiled Data option if you need to pull your data back down and go through the process to make your corrections, and then go back in, check everything, go back in, and file data with DOM again. And if you unfile, it's going to ask you to confirm, make sure that you're aware that this makes your data unavailable. It's going to update your status to work in progress while you're making your changes. You are to provide your valuation reports to all levy authorities and to Department of Management by January 1 of each year. And on the public-facing side of our website, folks can go in and see who is filed or unfiled as far as their valuations go. So when your folks are waiting for you to finish up that process, any of your cities or whoever, they can go to our website without logging in, just on the public side of our website, and see by county what their status is as far as valuations filed or valuations not filed. And there are a variety of public reports available to anyone on this public-facing website. Basically, they would go to, there's all sorts of different ways to get there, but if you are wanting to just check out and see the public-facing side, it's basically looking at the website prior to logging in as a county auditor. So you go to, the regular login that you would and not log into the system, or you can also go to evaluation reports. It's going to take you to the same place. But this will just list for you all of the different valuation reports that are available to the public. So it's a variety of different reports, and the public can access those either in a CSV or in a PDF format. So they can download with a green icon, they can download a CSV file that they can then manipulate in Excel if they want to do some number crunching. They can also download the red icon is PDF, so they can download more of a formatted report that's more suitable for printing. There's also reports available to help the levy authorities as they're working in their budgets estimate the commercial and industrial replacement dollars they would receive. This is where they would go in and run a 100% by class report and a taxable by class report and compare the difference between the value of commercial and industrial in both to see what the loss is and estimate, again, their commercial and industrial replacement. Again, make sure you file data with DOM if you make any changes. And also, very importantly, alert all of your levy authorities to changes so that they know that changes were made to their value. Depending on where they're at in their budget process, they very well may need to go into the system and do some work with that, with their budget. So please make sure that you're communicating changes to valuations if you have to unfile and file again. If you have any questions about the filing process or making corrections in the system or the public-facing website and reports, please contact me. Thank you.